very good evening to you, our viewers. Welcome to World Cup Extra on TV47 with me, Katela Macy. Remember, we are here each and every single day from 4:15 p.m. to 6 p.m. as we bring you the World Cup show. Whatever is happening, we're bringing you live right here with my very good friends. One more time, I meet with Fred Arocho. Karibu sana Twiga.
Thank you.
Uko fiti?
Wow.
The beautiful Faith Kuria, welcome.
Thank you so much.
I can see today you are a true African, and of course the man from Japan, Mike Kagongo. Karibu sana. Who's your player? Nani unaangalia sana pale kwa hii timu yako ya Japan?
Nakamura.
Huyo ndio unamwangalia kwa sana?
Kabisa.
Well, all right.
Ni madefender wanafunga mabao.
Madefender wa Japan ambao wanafunga mabao. But you have a very heavy task coming up, but we'll be talking more on that right here on World Cup Xtra. And also remember that you can be part of this amazing show while interacting with us on our WhatsApp number 0793267279, and of course our social media platforms. It's TV47 Kenya on Facebook and TV47 Digital on X. Now, we are starting, and I'll give you a question of the day. But remember, with me here, I am the FIFA right now. I have two cards. I have the red and the yellow. Yellow nakupatia warning. If Kagongo you tackle Faith Kuria hard, then warning iko hapo. Arocho akikuja, if ata deny goal to be scored, red card inaweza ikatembea hapa na pale. But remember, our question of the day is, how far can African teams go to the 2026 FIFA World Cup? Remember, 10 teams were representing Africa, and unfortunately right now we've got only 8, whereby Tunisia was first eliminated, and yesterday South Africa was eliminated by Canada. Now we have 8 teams remaining, of which the fixtures are very tough, but we really believe in them. Now, starting off, Arocho, I will repeat our question. How far can African teams go? Now, let's start off by yesterday, as Canada beat South Africa, a 1-0 win, which made South Africa to go home and exit the FIFA 2026 World Cup. Arocho, what do you think went wrong? South Africa walikuwa wamekaza sana, walikuwa wamecheza vizuri until the last minute.
Well, I don't think it's what went wrong. I think it's what did not happen. I think the only thing that South Africa did not do was to score. They had a very, very good percentage in terms of possession. They had about 58% of the ball in the entire match. Though they had very few shots on goal, only 2 shots compared to 7 from Canada. But all in all, I'm proud of their performance. Why am I saying I'm proud? Look at even how South Africa qualified for this edition. There were a lot of issues surrounding their qualifications. They lost 3 points for playing a player who was not eligible for the qualifiers. Mentally, they moved into this tournament with a lot of questions. Their first opening match, they lost and recovered. So, for me, it's a step in the right direction, in the sense that these two teams, this is their very first time to move to the next edition of the World Cup. Canada and, of course, South Africa, their first time they played at home. They did not move past the preliminaries. This was an occasion for them to at least showcase what they are made of. And I'm once again saying it, I'm proud of how South Africa played their game. They didn't score, yes, but in soccer at times, it's not necessarily how you possess. It's ultimately the number of goals that you score. So kudos to South Africa, and I hope that they're going to build from where they've left. You just need to put your house in order and look at how you're going to better your next edition. Currently, South African football, in terms of their clubs, are doing so well. We saw the Pirates of this world, the way they performed in the African Club Championship. So that is, for me, a yardstick where you can interrogate a league. So positives, and they move to the next edition, and I hope they have learned from this encounter.
Thanks so much, Rachel. Now, to Miss Faith Korea, let's talk about Canada's performance in that game. Remember, Canada being a host nation, they are first. People are saying that it will be the first host nation to go home, but we've seen how they've been willing to prove a lot of fans wrong, and then their win yesterday over South Africa, Villeli Kam. What would you say was their performance out of 10? And then we can discuss more.
Thank you for having me. I think teamwork really showed up. As much as South Africa were possessing the ball, they still kept on going. They were very resilient, and I think the goal came at a very crucial time, because if you were keen enough, South Africa were playing to go to penalties or something, because I think they knew they have a very good goalkeeper who they might stand a chance, but it didn't go according to them. Just like Aracho has said, it's not about how much you possess. It's about how many goals you score and at what time you score them. A very good goal by, what's his name? Estebashi or something.
It's just something.
Yeah, it was a really good goal. And I watched his post-match review, and he's saying how he did it all for his family. Many people might say it's irrelevant, but I think whatever happens in your life outside the pitch influences your performance on the pitch one way or the other. So kudos to them. Jesse March is working, and I think it's been 2 years. They've been together. He has been Canada's coach for 2 years, and I think it's really working. Yeah.
Mike Kagongo, Canada wataweza kuface Morocco and Holland. Unaonaje hii team? Is it a heavy task for them? Would they proceed at least to the round of 16?
Yeah, they got the potential. First, thank you for having me today. They got the potential to proceed. If you can remember what happened yesterday, they didn't win this game because of experience and so forth. It's because of discipline. If you remember, when they were going out for during halftime, the coach was very furious about the referee. And you remember the coach was coming to speak to the referee, and there is a player, I don't remember the name of this player, that came to kumkataza asiende kuongelesha referee because alikuwa kuna decision alikuwa amefanya which was not well okay for them. The discipline in this team was very high. South Africa lost this game because of negligence. They thought they already were going for penalties. They lost this game because they thought they had made it to penalties, and they will have made it to proceed to the next level. But I feel Canada was the best team in terms of resilience, in terms of tactics. But the likes of Modao, Mokoena were outplaying them, using long balls and so forth. But I think going forward, Canada has the potential to proceed to even the quarterfinals. But again, if at all they will be meeting Netherlands, it will be a very difficult task for them. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I must add, talking of the positives, okay. I think if you look at South Africa, it's okay to... you can grow your football from your local leagues, yeah?
Sure.
Because almost 80% of their team plays in their local league. So you don't have to go all the way. You can grow your football from your local league, yeah.
Probably so. Those who saw that game saw how much the stadium was fully packed by Canadian fans, and they were so happy after their team beat South Africa. Let's listen to some of what the fans had to say at the Los Angeles Stadium.
I think it was a pretty good one. We were waiting for the overtime, and all of a sudden the game was over by Canada. Yeah, so 1-0. We're very happy about it.
I thought Canada deserved to win. It was kind of a rough match to watch, in all honesty. I feel like, South Africa was just happy to be here a little bit to a certain degree. And Canada, they really didn't create anything. So if you don't create anything, you don't deserve to win.
The reffing was just absolutely atrocious, but in the end, Canada got the result they deserved. I don't think there's much more else to say other than that. You got any thoughts there, Dad?
I just think it was a wonderful way to end the game by us.
People are very happy being a host nation, and of course knowing that wamesha knock out one of the teams and they're having a task ahead now. As I said earlier on, Canada will be facing either Netherlands, which will be playing Morocco. So the winner of that match will be facing Canada, of which that game of Netherlands and Morocco, it's also one of the most interesting games because both teams are good. So Arocho, let's say Canada wakiface Netherlands ama Holland, unaona wakiendelea ama safari inaishia?
Well, you might not really look at it that way. I normally regard soccer as a very, very unfair game. Anything can happen. More so, before you watch the Dutch play against the Atlas Lions, you can't say much. Why do I say so? You must take into consideration things like injuries. Major players getting injuries might hamper the progress of the team. Though I'm so much impressed with the Moroccan midfield, with Amrabat in that midfield. Sousi also doing so well in that midfield. Yes, Amrabat, somehow you cannot compare the Amrabat you saw in the previous edition in Doha to the guy we are seeing at the moment. But all in all, he does his job well and he's helped his team move to the level they are at the moment. But going back to what she said, I think the South African League is way ahead of most of the leagues in Africa. You can just compare it to most of the leagues in North Africa. And that's why you see most of these countries feature in the World Cup time and time again because of the quality of their league. The South African League is doing so well in terms of quality, and that's why they can have 10 or so players who are playing for the Bafana still playing at home, and then that they can still maintain that standard. And this is basically what should be replicated all over the continent. I'm so impressed with our continent in the sense that 90% of the messengers we send to the World Cup have posted a positive result. 9 out of 10. That is only Tunisia that did not make it. But look at it when you look at it from the fact that we had 9 slots. The one slot that we got from DR Congo was not necessarily our deservedly slot. This was a slot we got after we won the playoffs. So when someone wakes up and say that football in Africa is not developed, then I wonder what they're saying. I was just surprised the other day, Gattuso, former Italian international player who is the current head coach, saying that Africa should be stripped of some slots. How do you strip off a slot of the team that is currently doing well? Other than these other, for example, Asia, I think they've only posted 30% of the teams that initially came from the World Cup. Europe, the continent that is perceived as most developed in terms of soccer, only did 60%. Africa's done 90%. So when you look at it from that angle, on merit, Africa is there to stay. And in fact, I'll challenge FIFA to add us even more slots because of the good job that we've done.
And you know, most of these Europe countries, most of their players are born Africa.
Yeah.
They have that African descendant. That's true.
Exactly.
The African descendants. Okay.
Exactly.
Teams like France have like
sure.
90%.
France like 90%.
Yeah. Except Rabiot and Luka Dean. All the others are born outside France.
Well, it was so unfortunate for South Africa to be knocked out of the FIFA 2026 World Cup. And I remember when they were beaten during the openers match against Mexico, a lot was said about the South African team, and people knew that they wouldn't make it to the round of 32. But the support they had from the South Africans, I think it motivated them. And when their captain talked about, we leave politics aside from football, and then they proceeded to the round of 32. Now, we have some fans of South Africa when they were knocked out yesterday. It wasn't the best results, but some of them, they just embraced the results. Let's hear to some of South African fans said after their team was knocked out yesterday.
That South Africa will progress to the next round. It's such a sad time, but hey, we keep on forging on.
I don't want to cry.
Yeah, I'm a bit sad, I'm crying a bit, but we'll be fine.
Finals at least, bruh. But it's fine. We're happy we progressed to the knockout stages for the first time. We're grateful for that. But yeah, what can we say? Proud of the boys.
Tough game. We defended well, but going forward we didn't do good. We were not pushing too much. We were not attacking so much. I think we could have. Our strikers could have given us more. Our strikers could have done better. But it's game. It's the game. It gives, it takes.
What? First of all, how could you guys make us lose last minute? Come back home.
I think contrary to what everyone is feeling, I feel the same. I am also very disappointed. However, I'm really proud that we even made it to the knockout stage. It's a really big thing, and it really puts South African soccer on the map. Now a lot of our players get to get scouted. A lot of our players get to get seen on an international platform as big as the World Cup. So genuinely speaking, I'm proud of them.
Well, we are sad because obviously they lost, but we are incredibly proud of them because they reached round of 32 for the first time ever, and that's a good milestone. That's good.
Well, it was so unfortunate for South Africans because a lot of people said it was the world versus South Africa, the hate party and everything, but it is what it is. At the round of 32, one has to go, and unfortunately it was South Africa. Now, Faith Korea, you talked about Steven Estekiao. Is it Estekiao? Yeah. The one who scored the only goal that made Canada to proceed. Talking about Steven Estekiao, in overall game against South Africa, he has 7 touches and then 43 out of 40 successful passes. All right, and then 5 chances created, actually. All right, let's talk about this man of the match. I think ulifurahia sana.
I actually predicted it yesterday. I said Canada are going to win and they're going to capitalize on a defender's mistake. If you looked at the goal, it's actually a defender who headed back and then he got a shot. So I feel vindicated. I wasn't hating and I wasn't going to double down on my opinion. So I think he had a very good match. Both sides actually. The only thing that was lacking, they weren't taking their chances. So many chances missed. This game would have finished with almost 4 goals, but the final third was not there. Everything was there. The build-up was great, but when it comes to the final third, piss poor. Yeah.
I can see, Ganga, you're disagreeing. Am you agreeing? Is it disagreeing?
No, I'm disagreeing. I'm disagreeing because I don't think, actually, if they will have scored more, South Africa will have also scored more. Because the only problem South Africa had was the mentality of we are going to the penalties. Should they have maintained their match from the beginning to 80th or to 90th minute, they would have done better. As I told you earlier on, the likes of Mudau is a defender that was coming forward here, and he was delivering more than even the wingers. So these guys, South Africans, will have scored even more than Canada. Discipline tu ndio ilisaidia Canada sana. Just discipline. Na wakakosa kwamba wako na ile mentality ya kwenda kwa mapenalty.
Well, it was tough. Now, as always, Kenyans never lack anything to say. I'm not talking about you two, by the way. It's about the Kenyan fans, because we all know what has been happening in South Africa. We all know a lot of Kenya wameongea sana about South Africans. They were saying wamalize, waende home, wachunge jobs zao. And then after that game, Wakenya waliongea sana, and I want us to listen to some of the Kenyan fans who are following up with the World Cup after South Africa was knocked out at the FIFA 2026 World Cup. Wacha tuwasikize.
Mimi na support France kwa sababu najua France ndio itachukua kikombe hata kama ni wazungu. Mimi na support France by the way.
France wakikutana na Argentina unaona kama watatoboa?
Watatoboa. Kwa sababu
kulingana nani France hapo?
France mimi naaminia wote.
Mimi na support England.
Kwa nini England?
Kwa sababu pia mimi nafuatilia ligi ya England kwa ukaribu zaidi.
England unamwaminia nani round 32 hapo?
Nawaaminia almost wote. Kuna Pickford pale goalkeeper. Na pia kuna kina Saka, kuna kina Marcus Rashford. watu ni wengi pale.
England walishikwa draw na Ghana wakipatana na timu kama vile France ama Argentina ama Brazil, unadhani watatoboa?
Okay, kwa kweli hata kama walidraw na Ghana sio hoja kubwa sana, kwa sababu wao walijua ile group yenye wamewekwa ni group rahisi zaidi. So walijua lazima pia watachapa Panama. Na ni ukweli walichapa 2-0. Ndio kwa kilele pale saa hizi.
Wakikutana na France ama Brazil
kama waliweza Croatia. Kwani Brazil nini silishikwa draw nini na Morocco?
Ni kwa maoni wangu na timu yenye na support ya niambia yote. Ni timu yenye naweza support saa hii ni Brazil. Brazil nikikumbuka kama mwaka wa nilikuwa nimeiona 203 kulikuwa na jamaa alikuwa anaitwa Younes. Hapo ndio mimi nilikuwa najijua vizuri sana. Hapo ndio nikapenda nikaanza kupenda game. Nikapenda football. Hata ikiwa mimi mwanariadha, lakini Brazil is my favorite.
Hiyo ndio tashinda final.
Hiyo mimi kwangu hiyo ndio hiyo.
Mimi timu yenye napenda ni Argentina. Penye Messi yako dole.
Kwa hiyo Argentina watashinda final.
Watashinda.
Sawa sawa.
Mimi na support Argentina. Kiangalia Argentina, shafu ya ulinzi safi, defense iko sawa, striking iko sawa. Argentina watawin game zao zote. Mainly mimi na kufa na Messi. Argentina watatoa hiyo kikombe.
Na timu kama vile France na Brazil.
France inasuasua. Iko sawa lakini inasuasua.
Kwa hiyo naaminia tu Argentina.
Mimi nakufa na Argentina.
Top scorer unadhani nani atafunga mabao mengi?
Top scorer Messi. Angalia Ronaldo, although Ronaldo anajikaza lakini bado ako chini.
Tunaweza sema sisi kama Africans tulikuwa tunafikiria timu ya Afrika inaweza ingia. Sasa tunaona kidogo imedidimia kidogo, kwa sababu Senegal ukiangalia vizuri imeenda chini. Canada sawa imeingia,
lakini timu nyingi za Afrika
zimequalify lakini ukiangalia timu kama France iko na wachezaji wazuri. Unaona mahali penye wako na madefenders wazuri, masafu ya mbele ni mzuri. So mimi napigia upato France inaweza chukua hii league this time. Ukiona kama Messi kidogo wameregea kidogo, kwa sioni kama wataenda mbele.
Top scorer nani atafunga mabao mengi?
Mabao mengi nikiangalia vizuri inaweza kuwa Mbappe.
Lakini Messi ako na mabao 6 tayari.
6 lakini game ijaisha baba. Bado mdundo inaendelea. Sawa baba.
Samse ukiboeka Kenya ni kujitakia wewe mwenyewe. But let's move on. Tonight, the Samurai Blues will be facing the Samba Boys. It's a very interesting game, actually. Remember, in history, Brazil have met Japan once back in the 2006 World Cup, whereby Brazil won 4-1. And also remember that in this FIFA 2026 World Cup, Brazil are yet to lose any match. They drew with Morocco, they beat Haiti, and they also beat Scotland. Now, for Japan, they only won over Tunisia, and then wakadraw na Sweden, and wakadraw na Netherlands. Now, this task right here, tonight, before we go on, nataka prediction. Najua Magongo hapa ameshaeka yake. Arocho, what is your prediction first? Draw?
But we must have a winner.
No, then I'm talking about the 90.
The first 90.
Okay. I'm also going 4-2, but at extra time. 4-2 in favor of Japan.
Kagongo, najua unataka kuongelea timu yako.
Hatuwapigi mabao nyingi. That's 3-1. Na hii game itadeterminiwa na first half. First half, tumelock first half 2-0. Tumemaliza game.
That is very bold.
Now, Arusha said draw.
High scoring.
Brazil 4-2. Kwa hivyo mwenye anaekele it's over. Umesema Japan mapema sana. All right, let's talk about Brazil. Unajua, having a team that is unbeaten in the group stages, and also Japan wameshinda game moja peke yake and then wamedraw. Arucho, mbona umesema ni draw hii game?
Well, I'm looking at the last encounter the two teams had, and Japan won. It was a friendly match in the month of October. And I feel that Japan have been growing since the first match they played in the World Cup. It's just showing a lot of progression. And that's why I feel that it will be a draw. And if in any case there's a team that is going to win, it will be a low-scoring match. I'm not expecting high scores in this encounter. And you also need to factor in the fact that after 3 matches, teams are now slowing down. Injuries are creeping in. Fatigue is also coming into play. So basically, it's not going to be a high-scoring match. The two teams have performed well until where they were. That's why I'm talking about draw, or if in any case there's a team that is going to win, it will be a low-scoring match.
Faith Korea, you've talked about 4-2.
Low scoring. I don't know, because both teams play high-octane football, because this one will be end-to-end. And they capitalize better. They take their chances better than most of the teams. So a counter-attack, that's a goal. Yeah, end-to-end match. If you look at Vinicius, I think he's the star of the match that we are looking out for. They're both lacking crucial players. Brazil do not have Rafinha, but God works in miraculous ways, because the Bournemouth Ryan came in and he actually stood 10 toes, and if Rafinha didn't get injured, I don't think he would have featured in this World Cup. Japan also are lacking Takekubo, Endo, Wataru. So that I think it's still going to be a high-scoring match. A very entertaining game, probably the game of the round of 32. And I think where Japan can win the game is Nigas. If they dare go to extra time, I think Japan wins it. Yeah.
Tuko na fan Kagongo Mike. I remember was pronouncing your name vibaya sana. Kagongo Mike.
Yeah, actually,
Japan, I can see you're wearing.
You needed to give yourself a yellow card.
But I'm the only person who can hire and fire and give the red card. You know, it says
that means you are biased.
The referee's confusion is always fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for that matter.
Team ya Japan wamesema itapiga, and then we can talk about how Japan got into this round of 32. Tumeona wameshinda game moja na few zingine wamekuwa wamekaza.
Japan, so far so good. They've shown boldness, because as a team, they're playing as a team wholeheartedly. If they move together. Unasikiaga wanasema beki wa kupanda na kushuka. Hawa ni wote ni mabeki wa kupanda na kushuka. Striker anapanda na anashuka. So what if they're going ahead forward, they also fall wote pamoja. Yeah. So they're playing as a block together. Since the inception of since World Cup started, I did commentate the first match they did play. And I told Wadi Mwema that this team is going far. The likes of Nakamura, Ito, Watanabe, and exactly, they have pace that's required in the field. Brazil, the likes of Kinakaka are not there. The likes of Kina Ronaldo are not there. This is the same team that was beaten 5-0 the previous edition.
Oh.
So I don't think they can cruise ahead of Japan.
No, but I don't think it's fair bringing in Kaka, and this same Brazil hasn't lost a game in this World Cup. No, I had to say that.
Without Kagongo finishing. Yellow card.
No, but it's out there. Thank you.
Please, Kagongo, continue. You were saying something, eh?
Thank you for protecting me. So I was saying, against Japan, Brazil, it will be a very hard task and an uphill task for them. But still, you cannot ignore the likes of Brazil defense, because they have a very concrete defense currently. And that doesn't mean Japan cannot score. It also means, as he says, if it's a draw, maybe goalless. If it's a draw, maybe goalless. But for Japan, with the pace they have currently, they're gonna score more than 2 goals.
Well, before I come to Miss Faith Korea, I want to see how Japan, when they faced Brazil, I remember internationally, back in 2006 group stages, walishinda 4-1 All right. So give me the stats, Upper, and then we can talk, Faith, about this team. Pierre Brazil, we've seen being unbeaten and only drawing one match. Now, Japan Brazil in history, in record, the 14 matches, 1 win, 2 draws, 11 defeats. All right. And then back in October 25, as Arocha said, ndio waliweza kushinda the match at 3-2, unajua. Now Nakamura player wake kagongos hapa sana. I think is he the player to watch tonight? You know, is he the player to watch tonight? Having faced Brazil 14 times with only 1 win, 2 draws and 11 defeats. Do you think Japan is to surprise pia leo?
I think one of the interesting things about Japan is they don't have a player you're looking out for. Everybody can score, everybody stands on business. And I think the worst mistake they can do is adapting to Brazil's style of play. But I've watched Japan's couple of matches. They don't switch up their play, no matter who they are playing. You look at some teams that pack the bus, depending on the opponents. They do not do that. They stick to their playing game. And I think if they do that today, they stand a chance. Yeah.
Arocho, they've drawn only twice. You said this match might end for the first 90-minute draw, but they have been defeated 11 times.
Well, the facts might, the statistics might not favor Japan in many ways. It's an emerging soccer nation within Asia. Comparing it to 5-time champions Brazil, on paper might not really be fair. But I'm looking at two aspects here. One, the way they've performed in the World Cup, the way they qualified for the World Cup, and last but not least, the last encounter they had. They say soccer, you're as good as your last match. The last match that Japan faced Brazil, they won 3-2. So that one also psychologically gives them an edge over Brazil. But on the flip side, the Brazilian team is vastly experienced. They have several players here who have played to this level. And at times in soccer, when you have individual players who have played to this standard, then it gives you an edge. That's why I'm talking about a low-scoring match. Because two teams, and to echo what she talked about, they play explosive speed, the two teams. And that, for me, will slow them down in the sense that the first 20 minutes, they might be very fast. But after that, being that we've also played 3 matches in the last 6 or so days, you tend to slow down. And that's why I repeat again, this is not going to be a high-scoring match because of the factors that I've just explained.
But remember, Japan is not slowing their pace. From the first minute until 90th minute, they are going...
Now, look at it this way. These are teams who have played 270 minutes.
Sure.
In the last 8 or so days. You are not
a
robot. You have to slow down. The moment you, and that's for the guys who felt that FIFA did it wrong when they brought in the 48 teams format, their argument was fatigue. Because in the next 39 or so days, teams are going to play close to 10 matches of international standards. So basically, the way you started your league, and this one was evident in the 2022 World Cup, when Argentina opened their campaign against Saudi Arabia, and they lost. But when subsequently they picked their tempo, and if you can see the finals of the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, you cannot compare it to the opening matches. The number of passes that were made, positive passes, that were made in the opening match, vis-a-vis the positive passes that were made in the finals, totally different.
Okay.
The speed goes down, and this time around is going to go even lower because of the number of matches. We are doing 104 matches. So and that's why even the other time FIFA president was forced to explain that they are not out to make money. But in real sense, when you look at it from the commercial sense, you will realize that FIFA is out to make money in two ways. One, the number of matches that are going to be played in terms of beaming rights and all that. And two, the hydration moments. This is a commercial moment. It's 3 minutes where FIFA is making money. So basically, guys, as much as we are looking at it from the technical aspect of the game, there are people who are looking at it from the commercial aspect. Where these days, when I'm doing commentary on radio, I have 6 minutes to play commercials, which was unlike in football. And you've had coaches complaining that it's slowing down the game.
Actually, the momentum goes down.
Yes, it slows down the game. Now, when you look at it from the technical angle. But when you look at it from the commercial angle, more money is coming in. So it's a catch-22. And that's why I feel Katela and the rest, the speed, the tempo of the matches will slow down as we move towards the end of the tournament.
Someone needs to tell FIFA it's hydration break. Let us see the players take water or else change it to commercial break.
Well, all right. I think when we come back, we'll be talking more about the Brazilian squad because Neymar is back. Mateus Cunha has been scoring. Vinicius Jr. Who will be the actual man to watch in this match of Brazil versus Japan. But we'll discuss more when we come back after this short commercial break.
Energy drink. Cool, refreshing taste. Recharges your body and mind. Energy to help you keep going. Celebrate with Kenya's favorite energy drink. Now available at your nearest shop. Get yours today. Power up. Game on.
Msimu wa soka iko on na Von iko tayari kusisimua kila dakika. Ukiwa na Von unaleta games sebuleni kwako, kuanzia runinga safi za kisasa hadi speaker zenye sauti ya kusisimua. Shuhudia kila goli, kila save na kila shangwe kana kwamba uko uwanjani live. Tinga ofa hii special kwa kutembea von.co.ke sasa hivi. Von. Designed to love.
Drop of oil products delivered, we honor our mandate to power Kenya's growth and fuel the region's future.
Numerous cases of people falling asleep have been reported across the African continent. No one can explain this phenomenon.
With 24/7 FIFA World Cup coverage, sleep can wait. Everything can wait.
Reconnect GOtv yako for only 999 shillings today, only on GOtv.
Tonight on Ni My Guy. But
I have realized that my energy is not for here. It is for Europe.
Which energy are we talking about here?
Creative repositioning.
Yes, thought leadership.
Food culture.
Experience.
Unemployment with confidence.
Nandi. Mockery.
No smiling. Not angry. Boss, embassy wanataka sura yako, hawataki aura.
Aura is his own identity.
Exactly. Now you pick a picture.
You guy, my guy, deposit.
Need my guy, but
Mondays, 8:30 p.m.
And welcome back to World Cup Extra on TV47. I am Katela Macy and I'm with Freda Rocho and Faith Kuria. Mike Kagongo has stepped outside kidogo. Ameenda kufanya mambo 1-2, but he'll be back, so if he finishes on time. Now, we are still on Brazil versus Japan, and let's talk about some of the individual performance. We've seen Vinicius Jr. has scored all their 3 games against Morocco. He has scored against Haiti and Scotland. Now, if you look at Vinicius Jr., actually, I've been told he's the only player to score in each and every game from 2002. That's 24 years ago. Now, is he the player to watch tonight? He scored against Morocco. It was a very fantastic goal, actually, against Morocco, against Haiti, and then Scotland pale akapiga mabao 2 fresh. Arocho, let's talk about Vinicius Jr. tonight. Remember, also, Neymar is back in that team, but I don't see him starting tonight. Yeah. But anyway, Carlo Ancelotti knows better. Let's talk about Vinicius Jr.'s performance so far.
Well, I think Vinicius has exhibited individual brilliance. Whenever the team needs a goal, you either assist or score a marvelous goal. He is I think the 4th player to have scored in 3 different World Cups. Yeah. There are very few Brazilian players who've scored in 3 different World Cups, and that one gives him an edge over the rest. The experience that he comes with, and I think even the way he performed in his club this season has also helped him perform even better. You talked about Neymar, and for me, I think Neymar is a weak link. The Brazilian weak link, if you ask me, is Neymar. And I say this with a lot of confidence because look at, even when he was named in the team, there was jubilation. People don't celebrate when they know very well that you deserve being in the team. They'll only do that when they feel ish. They feel like your season has not been well, and now perhaps you're being rewarded going by your previous performances. I feel that he's in the team simply because of how he's performed in the previous seasons and not this season. Look at the way he performed in his club, disastrous, and he's been picking injuries here and there. I'm not seeing him being quite instrumental for Brazil in this edition. Yes, he is a good player, but in terms of match fitness, I think Neymar is not at his best. And you know, you are playing among the best. And that has been a problem with the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, who has scored only 2 goals. I say only 2 goals because I feel that the fit Ronaldo could have scored at least 3 or 4 goals by now, going by the number of chances he's got. So in terms of the Brazilian team, I'm not looking at individual players. I see if in any case Brazil is going to proceed, I'm expecting different faces to fill in the gap that is left with the exit of Neymar.
He has said it all about Neymar. I think when it comes to Neymar, right now they're just fielding the name, purely based on the previous World Cups, because right now there are very good players who fit that position more than Neymar, and actually I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't start today. In the case of Vinicius is an example of if you put drama aside, you can actually perform well, because he hasn't had any drama this World Cup, and you can see he's among the top scorers right now. So put the drama aside, give us football. He doesn't have so many theatrics now. He gets the ball, score.
Let's look at player comparison, all right? I wish Kagongo angekuwa hapa, and then we talk about Japan's player. Let's look at some of these. All right, Kaoru Mitoma, we've seen. Now, between Vinicius Jr. and Mitoma, both of them are wingers, all right? Vinicius has more appearances than Mitoma, and then goals scored only 4, a difference of 4, whereby Vinicius has 13 and Mitoma has 9. Now, in this game, I believe pia Mitoma atakuwa anaangaliwa sana if ataanza a lot, and there's this other name imepotea. What is his name?
Maeda.
No, huyu wa Kagoma. These Japan names
Nakamura.
Sana.
Nakamura.
That one, Nakamura. These Japanese names zinanitoka sana. Arocho, player comparison hapa. Because we've seen, let's not talk about age sana. What they are below 30. Both of them are wingers. And then for appearances, Vinicius, Juso at least experience pale, at least it's a little bit higher. And then goal differences, kuna 4 peke yake. And if you look at Mitoma, having 31 appearances with 9 goals, and well, Vinicius has 52 with 13, you know. So, Arocho?
Well, I think Kaura might be the key for the Japanese national team. He performed so well during the qualifications. I think he scored 3 goals in their qualification in the Asian category. I believe that he rises to the occasion, then the team will play. He's the kind of player who likes the team playing around him. The ball is supplied through him. And I believe that the Brazilian national team has also picked that. They're not going to let that happen. They're trying to cut the supply from that midfield. But I hope that, and these are the reasons why I feel, once again, we are going to have a low-scoring match when Brazil take on Japan tonight.
Do you agree, Kuria?
I also don't. Well, on the high or low-scoring part, but I also think Kaoru Mitoma. If you compare the 2 leagues they're both playing in, I think Mitoma has played in the Premier League, and I think the Premier League is more physical, more technical than La Liga. So here, it can shock you how players play club level and national level. It can be very different. So today, it's all gonna be about individual brilliance for me. Yeah.
All right. We'll see. Tomorrow we are here, tutakuwa hapa, and then we'll see how it will go. Now, moving on, Germany will be facing Paraguay, and Germany has had an outstanding performance, apart from being beaten by Ecuador, where they won 2-1 against them. So far, they beat Curaçao 7, and they won against Cote d'Ivoire 2-1, whereby I still remember what Adingra did on that match. Now, on Paraguay side, they've only won against Turkey, which they were beaten by USA 4-1, and they drew with Australia. Let's talk about this game, Arocho. Tuanze na prediction, and then we can go in deeper.
I'm predicting German to win. I'm looking at the last 5 matches. German have prevailed in 3 out of the 5. And this one gives them an edge over Paraguay. Well, it's not a strong side in terms of their continental assignments. The Paraguayan, initially it was one of the strong teams when the World Cup started in 1930, but it faded off, and they are somehow making flashes back into the world scene. So I'm not expecting a lot from them, and that's why I've said the German team is going to win. They've scored. It's the team that has scored among the highest goals so far in this tournament. So they're moving in quite confident. They're moving in with a lot of vigor. They're moving into this match wanting to also prove a point. The Germans, I think they've not dropped from the group stage for some time now. It's one of the national teams that, if in any case you're the coach, you're given targets from the semi-finals going into the final. So I'm not expecting a lot of challenges. I'm not expecting the Germans not to perform well. It might not be a low-scoring encounter, but ultimately the German machine will work.
What's your take?
Both teams did not convince me in the qualifying because if you look
even
at
after them scoring more than 7 goals.
No, that was expected. I think almost everybody expected that to be over 4 goals. Yeah, because they, especially Germany, when they took out Schlotterbeck, they kind of went a notch down. I think the pairing of Mensah and Schlotterbeck comes in handy. And right now, Mensah is pairing with David Ram, and I don't think there's chemistry there. That's what happens if you do not have the chemistry among all the players. You tend to go a notch down. But they have a they have a ball-playing goalkeeper. That is Neuer. I think if we are talking about brilliant goalkeepers right now, you have to include him until he actually retires. So I think he will come in handy in this game. But it won't. I'm going for a slight win, maybe 2-1 to Germany.
Well, just to add something, okay. I read somewhere that two German internationals are really up in arms. They feel that Kimmich, and that one, she reminded me when she was talking about the combination in that midfield. They were complaining about Kimmich. They feel that Kimmich should be employed more in the midfield than in the defense. That is Kahn and another former international. So it's something that is a concern not only to the fans, but even to the former players who feel that Kimmich should be given a more defensive role in that midfield rather than what is currently being employed in more of a defense player, because they feel that his experience will be in handy in that midfield going forward, trying to push the rest.
I'm one of them, by the way.
You also?
He should play, because he controls the balls very well, so he should play more the midfield than defensive. Yeah.
Well, let's look at some of the head-to-head statistics of Germany and Paraguay, how many times they've met, the wins, the draws. Let me have the stats, Mr. Director. We see, and it can help. Actually, Germany versus Paraguay, the players to players to watch bana. Ilikuwa head-to-head. All right, now here, Almiron atakuwa anaangaliwa sana actually from Paraguay. Remember ile kadi pia, I don't know if it really affected the team. And now from the German side, the Arsenal player Kai Havertz, and then we've seen both of them. One is a forward, the other one is a winger. Appearances, Kai Havertz has 78, while Almiron has 61. And then goals, Havertz has 10, and Almiron has 24. I know tonight, even a lot of people will be looking at Kai Havertz. I know we've talked about Kimmich, but also Kai Havertz, watu watamuangalia sana, you know. He scored last time. He was the player who scored the first goal for Arsenal time, the Champions League. Arosho, these players to watch, bana.
Well, I think Kai Havertz is overrated. I'm sorry, Arsenal fans will feel that I'm somehow mean. But look at Kai Havertz 4 months ago. He was not even featuring in the Arsenal starting lineup. Yes, I'll give him credit that perhaps in the last 2 or so months, he's improved his game. But consistency is quite key when we move into the next stage, where a player's fitness is not really gauged by flashes of brilliance. I think that even the Arsenal fans, when they were moving into the Champions League, they were not sure that Kai Havertz should be a starter. And even in the German national side, I think lack of better strikers have given Kai Havertz an opportunity to start. And I still feel that if they had another prolific man up front, then perhaps Kai Havertz could have played slightly deeper, or even not played at all. So I'm quite reluctant. And it's good that Germans have qualified for the next, so that we can now see the real Kai Havertz. Because as at now, if it's asked who is the real Kai Havertz to stand up, then we might have issues to pick who is the real Kai Havertz. Because now we are moving into the real test. And I wish that the Germans can move to the round of 16 and even the quarterfinals, where now you get, the sieving is being done. Currently, what we are doing here with such a show, we are sieving the teams. And once we go to the quarterfinals, now is when you will really see who is the wheat and who is the chaff.
Arsenal fans will be coming for your head shortly.
I'm used to that.
He's always ready. He's always ready to that. Now, do you agree, Miss Kuria, with what Arocho is saying about Kai Havertz and, of course, his performance?
I think if you guys are looking out for Kai Havertz, I'm not. I'm personally going to be more keen on Florian Wirtz.
Wait, so you are supporting my point?
Just not in your words.
No.
No, just not in his words.
Wait first.
No, I'd rather get the
you give her
card.
airtime, Mamalize.
I'd rather get the yellow card.
One for the team.
What I need to hear from you is that the point I've brought out, because many people are shying away from bringing this out.
Yeah.
Many people want to try and package a different Kai Havertz. And for me, that one cannot work. If in any case the Germans are depending on him, then there'll be a very big problem. Do you feel that you have somebody else who you'd feel that the Germans' hope are basically on him?
Right now, what I normally say is you don't change a winning squad. Yeah. So they have already fielded Kai Havertz, and he is working for them, okay? So here's what I was trying to say. The problem is if Paraguay lock the midfield, Kai Havertz is in the same class as people like, okay, I don't want to overbear, but in the class of Erling Haaland. He's not the player he's not the player he's not the player who's gonna go and look for the ball. He's a player to be fed.
Thank you.
So if you lock the midfield, he's not gonna get any supplies, and he could have almost the least number of touches by the end of the game. Yeah.
I like what she's bringing out. Katela, and that's why I'm bringing the likes of Gyökeres. Players who cannot fall back, pick the ball, and perhaps have a 1-2 towards the goal and get a goal. Yeah. These are players who just are just dependent on being fed.
I remember Paraguay, they play very physical game.
Yes, so
and
it will not be easy.
Kai Havertz he's used to being pampered.
Yes,
he plays in
they'll be hard on him. These are the likes of players who I can equate to the likes of Ruud van Nistelrooy, who was so good, but Ruud was just about being fed.
Yeah.
The moment you cut off the supply, he disappears. You cannot compare him with the likes of Ryan Giggs, who could come back, pick the ball, have some individual brilliance and move and get a goal. So that's why I feel, and once again, I'll be vindicated very soon, that if in any case the Germans have all their hopes on Kai Havertz, then they're in for a shock.
And you remember my slogan? The only people stopping Germany from going all the way is themselves.
All right. So you agree with what Arocho has said?
No, she doesn't want to agree. She doesn't need necessarily to agree. But whatever she's saying is more or less what I've said.
Oh, yeah, very true. Now, I think we can move on. Cindy, Mr. Director, we talk about the goals scored so far in this tournament. Right now, the current top scorer is Lionel Messi with 6 goals. And then we have a tie from France, Dembele. We have Dembele with Mbappe and also Erling Haaland. So if you don't mind, you can share with me the top scorer. Now, the 5 national teams conceded, kuna teams ambazo zimeconcede a lot of goals. Let me start with Tunisia. Tunisia have conceded 12 goals so far, and then Qatar have 10. We have New Zealand 10, Uzbekistan, they've conceded 11. Iraq have conceded 12. Manze watu wanapigwa sana. Watu wanapigwa sana. Arocho, this team, do you think Messi Pia can continue with scoring more goals and he can win the golden boot this tournament?
Before I respond to the top scorer, I think I'll also need to bring out what you've just said, the teams that have conceded. Well, it's totally unlike Tunisia. And I think Tunisia should be a case study in Africa, where a team qualifies for a tournament without conceding, without losing a match, conceding very few goals, and then moves into the tournament and hell breaks loose. So I feel there's something wrong. And Katela, you guys will bear me witness. In the next 2 or so months, you will hear a lot of scandals that will come from the Tunisian national team.
Actually, they've started already.
It is totally unheard of Tunisia performing the way they performed. For example, look at the way they performed in the African Cup of Nations. We saw a more resilient, we saw a more formidable side from how they performed. But when they went to the World Cup, after the first match, they sacked their coach.
Yeah.
They brought in another coach who socked in another 4 goals. So basically, there's a lot that is happening in the Tunisian national team. But coming back to your question, I think class is now becoming prominence in this tournament. Lionel Messi is not only a good player, but he is a classy player.
Yeah.
Why am I saying so? Look at the goals he scored. Lionel Messi, one, is not selfish. Messi will give you an opportunity to score even when he's perceived to be in the best position. And his humility, for me, is now paying. Look at the fact that he did not start in the last encounter. That one is totally unheard of from Cristiano Ronaldo, who many people joke around when they compare. I have never compared Cristiano Ronaldo, though he played for a team that I have some sympathy for, but you cannot compare the two. This is a player who is ready to sit out and watch the rest of the players perform. But Ronaldo, it's just about him. He'd rather the team doesn't perform, but he has to be in that team.
Yeah.
The last outing for the Portugal national team, he was a disaster. He could not even move. His age, because Ronaldo's football is speed-oriented.
Yeah.
Compared to Lionel Messi, who gets the ball in a very small space and he does his stuff. So at 41, with that pace, he cannot continue playing the way he used to play. So you cannot compare the two. I'd like to see the young stars coming in. I'd like to see more goals being scored by unknown players. And this will give the tournament even more impetus. So I believe, I pray that Ronaldo doesn't score any other goal. If he scores another goal, then they should be out, so that we can see the emergence of more better players who are young and agile.
Yeah.
A total of 177 goals has been scored in this tournament so far. Miss Faith, what do you think? It's about mingi sana from the group stages. It's a lot of goals from the group stages.
There's so many, and
there's so many.
It's unfortunate that the tournament is still continuing. But but you still have conceded more. But the likes of Tunisia, that was very unfortunate, and I think Tunisia have a lot of problems going on. The locker room is lost, and they're going to have to rebuild from behind. In the case of top scorers, I think Messi is in a league on his own. I think that debate should be put to bed. It's done. I said the other day, Ronaldo was struggling. The game versus DR Congo, he was almost playing behind the keeper. Like, he wants the ball. And I think it cost them very much. Right now, they're just fielding the name. I'm pretty sure there's a player in that squad who can give Portugal more out than Ronaldo. So I think Messi is gonna continue. If you look at the path Argentina have, I'm not gonna say it's easy, because Ronaldo fans wants me to say it's easy, but it's not as tough as the other following goal scorers. So I think Messi is going to continue in the same, and he might actually take the golden boots.
Well, we'll be taking a very short commercial break, but when we come back, I want us to talk about the 8 African teams that are remaining, because there's a very heavy task ahead. Yeah. Like the likes of Cape Verde facing Argentina, Ivory Coast. It's very tough, but when we come back, we'll discuss more of African teams remaining at the FIFA World Cup. We'll be right back.
Creators, 10 teams, 1 stadium, 1 winner. This is Creator Cup 2026, a full-day experience bringing together football, entertainment, games, and pure fun. Watch your favorite creators step onto a pitch, battle it out, and entertain like never before. It all goes down on Sunday, 11th July 2026. Bring your friends, bring your energy, and be part of the movement. Tickets are now available on M-Tickets. Don't miss it.
Skia, ni juicy. Flavor zote tamu tena fruity. Yummy na flow kama maji, juu ni tamu kama sali. Ni juicy. Are you bored? Kuna vitu zinakuudhi, usijali my bro, hebu kama taka juicy juni.
Did you know you deserve to earn royalties every time your artistic work is played or communicated to the public? Join Pavrisk, the duly authorized CMO mandated to collect and distribute royalties. To register and update your works, visit our website on www.pavrisk.or.ke. For assistance, call us or WhatsApp on 0781 721 721 or 0732 721 721 or visit www.pavrisk.or.ke. Pavrisk, revitalizing royalty management. Celebrate with Kenya's favorite drink, now available at your nearest shop. Get yours today. Game on. Experience game, not steam.
From 11th June to 19th July, everything can wait. The FIFA World Cup 2026. Get DStv access for as little as 1,450 Kenya shillings today.
Welcome back to World Cup Extra on TV47 with me, Katila Macy, and I'm joined by Fred Arocho and Miss Faith Kuria. Arocho, umeshapiga ushaenda hydration break kidogo?
Yes, I've gotten my coins.
All right, now, still in the World Cup, Canada booked a slot in the round of 16, but the fixture is very tough. Who is going to join Canada? Because remember, in this fixture, let me read it out for you. We are having Brazil, which are facing Japan. We're having Netherlands and Morocco. A very interesting game, that one. We're having Germany and Paraguay. We've talked about that. And then we have Cote d'Ivoire versus Norway. We have France versus Sweden. England versus Congo, Mexico and Ecuador. And then we have Belgium versus Senegal on the Wednesday first. We have USA and Bosnia. Spain and Austria, and then we have Portugal and Croatia. We have Switzerland versus Algeria. Australia versus Egypt. And then, I don't know what Nekangaji is the game, Argentina versus Cape Verde, and then Colombia versus Ghana. Remember, Ghana, a lot of people say that African Bali, but they won over Panama 1-0. That was called by Caleb, is it Caleb Yarenki or Caleb or something, you're right? Arocho, who is likely to join Canada to the round of 16 after seeing that fixture?
Well, I feel that Senegal from Africa is going to make it through. With the risk of being infamous, I'm looking at Cape Verde making history. It's another country that has proven that resilience pays. This is a team that 10 or so years ago were in the same rank with Kenya, with Harambee Stars. So the development they've had, though most of their players play outside their country, and this is an advantage to teams that were colonized by the French and the Portuguese, because they let most of their citizens from their colonies to get assimilated in their country. Unlike us in this region where we were colonized by the Europeans, who the British, who somehow, in my opinion, are making it not easy for the guys they colonized to get assimilated into their country. So this is why I feel Cape Verde have done so well, and most of West African countries, that is the Senegal, the Togo, the Côte d'Ivoire, most of these players are somehow having affiliation with Europe, where either their parents were assimilated into the countries that colonized them, and this gave them an opportunity to have an advantage in terms of infrastructure, in terms of the coaching levels, and that's why you've seen the influx of foreign-based players participating for Africa in this tournament. So, but having said that, I think we can just use it as an excuse. From this region of Africa. We can just use it as an excuse. But once again, I talked about Senegal. I talked about Cape Verde. I feel DR Congo will give a good challenge, but they might miss it a bit, slightly. It's not easy. Just coming in after all those years, then bringing in surprises. Egypt, initially, I never looked at Egypt as a strong contender to move even to the semi-finals. But after they played their 3 matches, somehow I'm drifting towards having them as one of the strong teams from Africa. So all this combined, it just gives Africa an opportunity to go to the negotiating table and ask for more. I don't think Asia deserves anything. In fact, they should be robbed. Even the number of teams that the slots that they have for the World Cup. I think South America is also overrated, if you ask me. I think we also need to rob them one. And even Europe. Europe, they just need to explain why they should get more slots compared to Africa, going by the current results. You know, I hope we are going to maintain the percentage we have with our teams progressing as we move on, because that is the only way Africa can negotiate, because I believe we need more.
Ms. Faith Kuria, which other teams do you think, which national teams can join Canada in the round of 16? At least right now, imekuwa ni serious business. You're beaten, you go home. You're beaten, you go home. Now, if you've had the fixture, which other teams do you think can or might join Canada in the round of 16?
Unfortunately, I don't think Ghana is one of them. I've watched them play very scrappy football.
Good.
I have not been convinced.
Good.
They are just kicking the ball all over, and I don't understand why Jordan Ayew is still in the squad.
Thank you.
They need to go back home and scout for more players, because I think there's a player who can do better than Jordan Ayew. I think other teams that can join in the next round, I think Morocco. Morocco have a very good midfielder, Bouadi. Bouadi has been a standout for me in this tournament. And I think the whole squad has been very good. I think Morocco will surprise us. Also Senegal. Senegal came in from a very tough group, and I think we haven't seen the best of them. And them being champions of Africa, I'm actually saying champions of Africa because as far as I'm concerned, Senegal won it. I think they're going to go to the next round. Egypt, just like he has said, it's another team just like South Africa. More players play in their home leagues. And I think they're also going to go to the next squad, to the next round. Algeria, I think Mahrez carries that team in his back. Eh? By the time wanatoka kwa hii tournament, Mahrez will have to look for a doctor. I remember him from Gongo. I wasn't convinced by Algeria also. So I think Morocco, Senegal, Egypt. These are the teams that I think they are gonna make it to the next round.
Let's talk about teams like Belgium. You can see to them wearing Belgium jersey. Do you see them making it to the next round? We have Belgium, we have Colombia, Norway. You know, the fixtures are very tough.
First of all, you need to get rid of that jersey.
I think
because this team.
This is just a uniform, by the way. These are disclaimers. It's just a uniform. Danko forced me.
This team is just good on paper. Like they have everything they need, but when it comes to the pitch, they do not deliver. Like what is happening? But if they didn't deliver with the squad they had previously, I am not shocked that they are not delivering right now. So Belgium, I'm sorry to say they're not going far. Colombia might actually scramble their way up there because they're playing really good. And they have a game today. Is it today? Colombia? But I think they're going to beat, I'm not sure which team they're playing, but they're going to go to the next round.
For Colombia, actually, Colombia will be facing, it's facing an African team. Colombia is facing Ghana.
Ghana, right? They're gone. Safe to say Ghana are gone. Yeah.
Well, all right, before we move on next, I think Kenyans really love football, and we've got some fans from Taita Taveta. And we want to hear what they said about this World Cup. So far, which team they're supporting and who they see will win this FIFA 2026 World Cup.
Mimi ni shabiki sugu sana mambo ya mpira. Nimekuwa coach kwa miaka mingi, nimekuwa pia referee. Na mpira huu wa wakati huu wa World Cup umekuwa ni kombe ambalo linang'ang'aniwa kwa hali ambayo ni ya kusisimua sana, kwa sababu timu zile changa ambazo watu wamekuwa wakiziona labda haziwezi kidogo tunaona zikishitua timu kubwa kubwa. Kwa ule mpira wa jana kulikuwa na uhakika mkubwa sana wa South Africa kushinda Canada, lakini nafikiri pia kule kuwa kwamba unachezea nyumbani kuna nguvu yake, na South Africa walionyesha mchezo wao kwa umahiri sana na kufuatilia kwamba walikuwa wamefanya kuingia baada ya kung'ang'ana sana. Sisi tulitarajia ni kweli yale matokeo yangekuwa yana favor South Africa, lakini lile bao moja ni bahati mbaya tu. Ingawaje South Africa walikuwa wanaonyesha dalili kubwa sana ya kushinda kuliko Canada, kwa sababu tukiangalia possession ya South Africa ilikuwa juu kuliko ile ya Canada. So hatuwezi kudharau ama kuignore ile fact kwamba Canada ilikuwa inacheza nyumbani. So hilo ni jambo moja ambalo lilichangia. Pili ni kwamba labda South Africa kulingana na ule mchezo walionyesha, labda walionyesha dalili ama walijisikia kwamba tayari ni kama wameshashinda. Kwa hivyo kule kuzubaa kidogo tu, football ni 90 minutes. So kule kuzubaa dakika moja, sekunde moja tayari bao likafungwa, na bao likishafungwa kawaida timu kama mshaejua ni ngumu, ni nzito, inataka kuwafunga ama kuwapeleka mbio. Ukishafunga bao moja lazima utalilinda. Hata kama ni kuning'inia juu ya vyuma na kukaa players wote 11 ndani ya chuma, wao wacheze tu huko tu, wacheze tu, lakini kule ndani ya bao wasilione. Kwa hivyo hiyo ndo hasa ilitokea jana.
Pengine zungumzia swala zima la mchezo wa timu za Kiafrika katika shindano hili.
Tuna furaha kubwa sana na tunajivunia kuwa Waafrika, kwa sababu kwanza labda tuache kuongelea kuhusu timu za Afrika, lakini sasa tuongee kuhusu Waafrika katika hili kombe la World Cup. Naweza sema Waafrika katika hili kombe la World Cup, wanaocheza hili kombe la World Cup ama kombe la dunia ni Waafrika 90%, asilimia 90 ni Waafrika. Ukienda nchi kama Ufaransa, almost 80%, 85% ni Waafrika. Ukienda England the same, Netherlands tunaona hakuna timu ambayo haina Mwafrika, ni chache sana ambazo labda ziko bila Waafrika. So lakini kuna zile timu sasa ambazo zinawakilisha nchi zetu za Afrika, ni kwamba tunajivunia sana hizo timu ambazo zilikuwa 10 ikabanduliwa moja tu, lakini sasa ya pili ndio hiyo jana imetokea, lakini uzuri ni kwamba walikuwa washafika knockouts. So timu 9 kati ya 10 zilikuwa zimequalify kuingia katika round ya 32. Kwa hivyo sisi bado tunayo tumaini kubwa sana kwamba hizi timu 8 ambazo zimebaki bila shaka zitafika katika kiwango hata kiwezekana wafike mpaka finali, angalau timu moja ya Afrika. Kwa hivyo tunajivunia sana kwa timu za Afrika, na maoni yangu ni kwamba labda siku moja labda FIFA iende ifanye tu tuite blanda kwamba waseme sasa tunataka tucheze intercontinental, wacha hii World Cup ya intercountries, let's play intercontinental. I'm telling you kutakuwa na shida.
Pengine prediction yako ya leo itakuwa namna gani?
Leo kunachezwa kati ya naona kuna Brazil na Japan. Hiyo ni timu ambayo kweli ina uzoefu. Brazil ina uzoefu wa kucheza World Cup. In fact wamekuwa hapo kwa mara nyingi zaidi hata kuliko Japan. Japan zao za kuhesabu tu. Lakini vile vile nilivyotangulia kusema ni kwamba hatuwezi dharau timu ndogo wakati huu wa World Cup. Tumeona kwamba mambo yamebadilika sana. Si kama zamani ambayo ilikuwa outrightly unajua timu ikiingia na Brazil hiyo inakula bao 8, 9, 10. Lakini sasa hii hatuwezi ignore kwamba Japan bila shaka watatikisa Brazil. Ingawaje ubashiri wangu ni kwamba Brazil itashinda.
Okay, kwa majina naitwa Ibrahim. Hii World Cup imetufurahisha sana. Kwanza kabisa mimi ni fani wa Argentina, team Messi the GOAT mwenyewe. So kwa upande wa South Africa jana kutolewa, tunaweza sema imejitahidi kama timu ya Afrika imejitahidi sana, manake sio rahisi. Wamejitahidi jana pia last minute, unajua sasa lazima mwingine afanye mistake ndo mwingine afunge bao nini. Walijitahidi wakafikia mahali lakini wakakuwa wamelemewa. Next naweza ongelea Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast ndio timu nimeona ambayo ni Afrika imejitahidi sana, wamejituma na labda pia wana uwezo wa kuendelea mbele wakiendelea na bidii, wakijitahidi defense, striking pale kuna kina Madialo. Najua wanaweza fanya mambo mazuri. Next kuna hii timu yangu yenye na support ya Argentina, team Messi the GOAT mwenyewe. Argentina wameweka na Cape Verde na vile tunajua Cape Verde imecheza game 2. Wamecheza defense nzuri sana. But najua kwa uwezo wenye Argentina wako nao, najua wata-analyze hiyo game, wataangalia mistakes mahali wanaweza tumia opportunity na wakafunga Cape Verde. Najua tu Cape Verde hawataweza kustahimili ile pressure kina Martinez, kina Messi. Najua watajipanga vizuri.
Zungumzia prediction ya timu za leo.
Okay, kwa upande wa predictions ya timu za leo kuna Brazil, Japan. Tukiangalia Japan wamekuwa vizuri. Brazil pia striking force yao imekuwa vizuri. Lakini kwa leo mimi na predict Brazil watawin hiyo game either labda kwa 2-1 ama 3-1. Najua watawin hiyo game. Next kuna Germany na Uruguay. Paraguay. Germany najua watafaulu kabisa. Hiyo game itakuwa rahisi kwao.
Kwa jina naitwa Elisha Mimo, ni coach wa Polisi. Na reaction ya leo, tournament ya World Cup, mimi naona kama Brazil wata sail through leo na Ujerumani. Na kulingana na performance ya timu zetu za Afrika, wamejaribu. Kwa sababu kuingia katika round hiyo ya pili ni ngumu sana, lakini wamejaribu, wameperform vizuri, hawajaleta sisi down.
Afrika Kusini kutolewa.
Afrika Kusini kutolewa kwa sababu ya walianza mechi vibaya, kwa sababu ya kwanza mechi alafu pewa red card 3 mara moja, inadidimisha morale ya players.
Well, all right, let's move on now. Let's talk about the player of this tournament so far. I think there are some key players, and I just said Messi has been playing so well. We've had the likes of Vinicius Jr., we have the likes of Mbappe, and we have Dembele. Actually, let's talk about Dembele. Unajua, because that game of ilikuwa France was again, Dembele scored a hat-trick.
Yeah.
You know, they marked Mbappe, but then Dembele came in strong. Miss Faith Kuria, I don't know why I want to call you Ashira. Let's talk about Messi's, Dembele. Let's talk about Vinicius and Mbappe performance so far. Remember, hii game ya Cape Verde, I am sure Messi atafunga. I am very sure Messi atafunga, ataongeza mabao zake. What's your take?
On matches, goal scoring, I think Messi might stretch his scoring streak. Especially because it's Cape Verde. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but he will score. I can almost guarantee you he is going to score a goal. But in matters of play of the tournament so far, I'm actually not going to talk about Dembele because Dembele is being played out of position. I'm going to talk about Olise. So far for me, I have special love for midfielders, maestros, and Olise has been a standout for me. I think if you're talking about players of the tournament, Olise has to be on top of that list. I think he's going to finish with almost so many assists. I don't want, he's going to be there. If you take out Messi from the equation, I think Olise comes close.
Arocho, do you agree?
Well, personally, I feel Dembele has done it for me. When you compare the two, that's Mbappe and Dembele, I think Dembele stands taller for me because of his fast touch. He has the speed. Both the players have the speed, but I think Dembele has that football brilliance, and the fast touch is accurate. Football is about fast touch. The way you handle the ball in your fast touch is very important. It will dictate a lot of stuff. It will dictate if, in any case, you're approaching the goalkeeper, if the goalkeeper will reach the ball before you, how you're going to score, is all dictated by the way you have your fast touch. I think Dembele has been quite outstanding. Though when the tournament began, or even when France was playing, I remember they played, was it Cote d'Ivoire? They lost. You could not really pick Dembele. Everybody was talking about Mbappe. I like the fact that Dembele has moved into his space, commanded his space, and I believe that he's going to excel as we move forward. So far for me, he's gotten into a space that nobody was expecting him to be, and that's precisely where he belongs.
If I may, I think you couldn't pick Dembele because he was playing as a decoy. And Deschamps is trying to accommodate them both. Olise playing at 10 and Dembele playing on the wing. But right now, I think he has gotten used to that position. And I think the fact that he's performing and that's not his favorite position is actually something to commend him on.
Now, finishing up, before you wind up, briefly, Arocho, some of the Ghanaian ritualist claims that Alifunga Hurricane won't score. When you're winding up and you're parting shots,
those are just psychological war. There's nothing like voodoo in football. If voodoo was performing, then Tanzania could have been on the forefront,
Nigeria.
at least been in one of the World Cups. Nigeria could have not missed. Basically, these are just psychological warfare. That guy was just blowing perhaps some sawdust, trying to scare. And I like what Eze, was it Eze who responded to journalists when he was asked about that incident, or the fact that Ken could not score goals because of some spell. That is nothing. For somebody who has kicked the ball, you'll realize that it's your talent, your physical prowess, the training that you've had, and the tactical approach that comes from your coach. The rest, Nikelele.
Your parting shot, Miss Faith.
They're just theatrics. I mean, you could pray day and night, but if you're lazy and you're not putting in the work, so a good player will always be a good player. The Hurricane, the fact that he has 3 goals has nothing to do with the guy. He's just not performing at his level best. So I just think they're just theatrics.
Well, all right. Thank you so much, Fred Arocho. Thank you so much, Faith Kuria. We meet again tomorrow at 4:15 for the World Cup Extra. And I have been Katela Macy, and I will repeat after review. I'm giving both my players a red card. Watoke kwa uwanja. I'll see you again tomorrow. We are out. A very good evening.